guy in the NBA should ever wear 23. I've been working on that shot my whole life, and for that one to go in, that was liberating right there, man.
And I'm not shoving it aside, like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about
23 Shots of JD podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 23 Shots of JD podcast. Hey, how you going, mate? How you going? Just I don't know what I'm saying. I think I've just got a bit of my I think maybe my Aussie accent's a bit enhanced by watching The Bachelor. I don't know if I wasn't really meant to start like this, but I don't know if obviously probably my Australian viewers or audience probably watches The Bachelor because it's like the biggest thing in Australia right now. I don't know about my American audience, but definitely if you gotta watch The Bachelor at least this year, especially for the Australian Bachelor, I mean, because there's a guy named Nick Cummins. I think we mentioned him before on the podcast when it was me and David and stuff like that. Basically, Nick Cummins is just like he's the honey badger, He's like he would be the stereotypical guy that people would identify as Australian. Like the way he talks, his mannerisms, just his overall look, his appeal, his act, just everything about him is just a true blue Aussie bloke, And he's like I said, the typical Aussie guy. Like he would be a character in The Simpsons. Like how The Simpsons had that Aussie guy was like basically trying to replicate Crocodile Dundee or whatever. It's like, oh, you call this a knife, mate? This is what you call a knife. Like the honey badger would be that guy. The honey badger is definitely that guy. But yeah, I don't know what I came to mind at all. But I'll actually just go say some stuff. Choose everyone that listened to the live podcast, a historic podcast, you could say. It was very, very historic. With two guests on, which was pretty cool. So got a lot of great reception and stuff like that. So it seems like you guys want more. If you definitely want more, just keep commenting, rating, emailing me and stuff like that to say that you want more and stuff, because it's pretty dope to do. It's pretty cool, and the lads enjoyed it as well. So yeah, it seems a bit more. I don't know, maybe it's a bit more vibe, because then it's like not vibey, but just way more rowdy, because it's just like 3 different opinions just going ham. And I know there's some people complain about interruptions and stuff like that, like maybe people talking over each other, and I'll definitely keep that in mind when recording another one of similar nature. So but it was really enjoyable, and it's great to see that everyone liked it, and hopefully in the future I might be able to do more and stuff. We just see what happens. One thing I wanted to bring up as well is just with these solo podcasts that I'm doing as well. I'll probably try and do them maybe once every 4 weeks, or like once a month sort of thing, or maybe if it comes to NBA season, I'll do like a couple ones at a time, because I'm thinking of doing maybe shorter ones. I don't know if you felt it when you listened to the last solo podcast or anything, but for me it sort of felt I was rambling a bit too much. I was just talking a bit too much, because I knew there was that 1 hour time frame that I was trying to hit, and I think at that point it sort of just got a bit bland and stale. And I think maybe moving forward, especially in regards to the solo podcast, I'll probably look to do maybe make it more concise, these episodes, make it about 30 minutes to 45 minutes or something, and who knows, maybe I'll do it more frequently because of that. Like maybe I'll do it once a week instead of once a month, or two times a month, or something like that, in addition to maybe getting some interviews and stuff. So yeah, definitely just keep listening. I'll definitely like your feedback and stuff like that, to hear what you guys definitely want, because as I always mentioned before, especially with the departure of David and stuff like that, that this podcast really, as much as yours it is mine. I know you guys love just the type of content we try and put out and stuff like that. So it's just great to hear that. It'll be great to hear sort of how you feel about the direction that I want to head in regards to especially these solo podcasts. So yeah, that's just a bit of housekeeping I wanted to start off the podcast with, but let's get straight into it. One thing I wanted to really address, and it's sort of been a focal point within the sports media world, especially at least this week, or ever since the ruling came, was Serena Williams' quote-unquote catsuit. I don't know why they call it catsuit. I don't know. That sort of sex. Is it sexist? Maybe like genderism. I don't know like what the term would be, but I feel like I don't know what they call it in catsuit. Why didn't they just call it bodysuit? You know, like is it called a catsuit because it's the connotations with a female? Like you know, obviously it's something really semantical and like it probably makes no difference. But it was just interesting to see how they kept referring to it as a catsuit rather than just like a bodysuit or something. It was just a little trick that I like to see the media try and play and really accentuate there. But I guess going over the whole topic. So just excuse me, I'm a bit sick as well. That's why I wanted to maybe cut this episode a bit shorter than it is because I am a bit sick and you know everyone hates hearing someone with a nasally voice or someone that's really sick talking because it's just like, mate, just blow your nose for a second. I don't know if that's just me. It's like I know heaps of people hate me because I'm not a big nose blower. I do the like that. I don't know, I probably just triggered a lot of people just then, but yeah, I do that a lot. So I don't know. It's like I don't know if how you grow up and stuff, but yeah, I just wasn't really a big nose blower. I was more just like pretty filthy guy, I guess, if you want to talk about it. Just me, like sniffing, or like me just wiping my nose on my wrist and stuff like that, just doing all that type of junk. So, but yeah, back to the whole catsuit thing. It's like a lot of people got angry over it. There was a lot of conjecture. I guess I sort of understand, especially with a sport like tennis. Tennis really is sort of ingrained in like that type of tradition. It's sort of a prestige sport, very royal sport. And I guess they might want some uniformity within everyone that plays. I know that Wimbledon, with the nature of how it is and how grand and royalistic it is, everyone has to wear white. And then if you go outside those boundaries, you're copping a fine. You're copping a fat fine, which is probably pennies and coins to these tennis player athletes, especially at that level. So, but yeah, the whole catsuit thing, I thought it was pretty dope. It was pretty cool to look and to watch. Serena Williams just do business on the French Open court. To do business in that suit, I mean. But yeah, it's just I think if it does, I would understand more greatly why they would ban it if it was, I guess, quote unquote performance enhancing or enhance some type of aspect of their athletic ability whilst being on the court. Because I know, like, obviously, like a sort of similar thing would be the bodysuits that swimmers used to wear back in the day, like Ian Thorpe, who else? Grant Hackett, people like that. There's obviously a lot more other swimmers that wore it, and yeah, they ended up banning it because it was just so. It was literally just like moist wickening, where it's just gliding through the water too easily, and that's why like there was like a period of time when the world records weren't being beaten at all because everyone was just sort of going backwards in the evolution of swimming, if you want to say. So yeah, I would understand if that was the case for Serena Williams, like the whole the whole catsuit situation would induce high quality performance or whatever. But I don't think that's really the case. I think it's just more functionality and just for her and her playing style, just super aggressive, super forceful, and just a straight beast. Maybe that's just better for her and more comfortable for her, But I guess it doesn't really matter because she is doing business in the US Open course anyway, just wearing a regular tennis uniform and all that stuff. So maybe it's just like, maybe it is a style statement because Serena Williams seems to be styling a lot. She's sort of doing that collaboration with Off-White, which at first for myself sort of skeptical. I'm like, man, Off-White used to be like that dope brand that had that rarity factor, and I guess I don't know if probably Virgil Abloh still has great control over it, but now it just seems like they're just collaborating with everyone's mum and dad. Like, it's just like slow down the collaborations. But that being said, I did have that sort of feeling when they announced the Serena Williams collaboration or whatever. But the things that they brought out, it looks pretty decent. Like they had that Air Max 97 that looks pretty dope. So maybe Serena Williams wants to pioneer fashion within the tennis industry, and I agree. I think definitely if you want to push something forward, fashion's always a great way to do that, and then subsequently the culture, just a lot of other things follow suit to that. Like when you see Michael Jordan, he sort of brought back the mid He bought like the sort of bag, not super baggy, but the baggy sort of shorts, just slightly above the knees. They weren't wearing. He was the one that was like, I'm not wearing the John Stockton daddy shorts, like, definitely not wearing that. And then you see like people like the Fab Five, like Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, and all that stuff. Juwan Howard wearing the the baggy shorts that we see a lot of NBA players wear, especially during the early 2000s and stuff. That was pretty dope. And dope, but like sort of not functional either. Like it. I like how they sort of gone back or sort of reverted back to the Michael Jordan cut shorts, where it's like, okay, it makes sense. It's above the knees, and it's not showing a bit too much leg. It's functional as well. But then they got to a point where like just people were just sagging their shorts, and it's like, is that even comfortable to play in? Like, I don't know. I feel like you just want maximum leg dexterity, and that probably I don't know. That probably just doesn't give it to you at all. But yeah, Serena Williams. Just do what you want, man. You're married. You won the Australian Open when you were pregnant. Like, you can literally do whatever you want. She can literally do whatever she wants. Like, there was this bit this Australian comedian said. I won't. I guess I'll say it. It was basically just like, your perception of how you look at pregnant women now completely changes ever since Serena Williams, and that's true. She's lifted the benchmark. She's lifted the benchmark. Like how, you have that friend or that, that guy that, that has a girlfriend. He does ups and overs for her, and then he sort of ups the standard of how you should treat a girl. And then you're like, bro, you're buying her, like, all this stuff. You're doing all this stuff. You're organizing all this stuff. And it's like, I can't compete. I cannot compete to this guy. Because then, your girlfriend or your significant other is going to be like, well, why can't you treat me like him, so-and-so? And then you're just like, well, I can't treat him like that. Because he's too advanced. He's too advanced. He's an outlier. He's an outlier. He's not the standard. He's an outlier. Please, he's an outlier. And I think Serena Williams is probably an outlier, but I don't know. Every time I look like a pregnant woman, I'm like, Grand Slam. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess someone else that's sort of having success and I guess re-emergent success is good old Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, man. He used to be the butt of everyone's jokes. He used to be the laughing stock of golf. He sort of, I guess, put a black eye on golf for a period of time, but it seems like he's really resurgent. It seems like Tiger Woods has been in the game forever, which he has. He's been in the game for like 20 plus years or something ridiculous, because golf is a sport where you can play when you're 60, when you're 70. Like, when does a sport not become I feel like sports have age, like professional sports should have an age limit. If I could be competing at one of the highest levels of the sport, if not the highest, at age 60 to 65, is it really the highest level? Is it really? Because this is like every other sport. The professional peaks around the early 30s, and then it sort of dips out. There's always an obvious dip. People like LeBron James probably the only exception to the rule. Ronaldo as well, probably as well. But like, yeah, everyone seems to dip, and then somehow you continually incline. It's like there's a continuous incline in golf. Well, not for Tiger Woods, obviously, but there's a continuous incline in golf where it's like, you just reach it, you're like, all right, this guy's an absolute beast or whatever. So, I don't know, man. It's good to see Tiger Woods back, because Tiger Woods at a time was like the bet, like was basically what LeBron James was. He was one of the original LeBron Jameses, like a prodigy kid that was sort of designed to just play golf, and damn, he played golf well. And it's sad to see how he sort of downfall and his landslide sort of happened with him having one of the largest divorce settlements, and it's pretty ridiculous to see what this guy's going through. He sort of had back problems after back problems, like painkillers, his addictions and stuff like that. So he was really the one that started the whole sort of sex addiction thing. Like obviously sex addiction definitely existed and all that stuff, but he sort of brought it to the mainstream. I remember hearing that, and it's like sex addiction. He's like, oh, I'm addicted to sex. And then I sort of thought to myself, I'm like, isn't everyone addicted to sex? I'm pretty sure there's a scientific, you can fact check me or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it's like a guy thinks about sex or something in connotations to sex every like 4 to 5 seconds, something like that. It's probably just obviously on average or whatever, but like, just if like sex, like if it's some sex addict, I don't know. Is that even a thing? I don't know. I'm skeptical. I'm very skeptical. Same as porn addicts is definitely a very, very bad problem. But sex addicts, that's just human life, eh? It's just human life. I guess it could be sort of addiction when you're paying, you're paying for the sex and you're constantly, investing so much into that. But then it's like, it's investing into anything, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I've just gone on a bad tangent here. Maybe it is a serious problem and I'm just making light of it, which I'm definitely not. I'm just confused. I'm just merely confused because sex addict, it seems like that's like the best addict to be. Is it not? Can we deny that it's not the best addict to be? No one wants to be a heroin addict, a cocaine addict. No one wants to be any drug addict. They don't want to be a gambling addict. They don't want to be a food addict. They don't want to be any of that. Alcoholic, anything like that. But if there was one addict that people would like to be, it would be sex. And it's just a fact. That is a straight fact. So, yeah, no, just, I guess, going back to actual Tiger Woods, man, he put on a great performance, so close to winning the US Open. Like, that would have been ridiculous if he won. Like if he won, no, not US Open, just the PGA Tour. I'm not really a fan of golf. It's just I'm not a fan of Tiger. I'm a fan of Tiger. Tiger's so good, half Asian, full true Blasian. Like, this guy is a pioneer, my dude. I love Tiger. I love Tiger. Tiger's PGA Golf on PlayStation. Damn. I was a fan of golf, but that game was lit. And I like how they try to like remaster it with Rory McIlroy and something. It's like, nah, dude, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not Rory McIlroy. It's Tiger Woods PGA Golf. Let it be. Let it be. They should have just kept going strong with doing that whole scandalous period of his time, period of his life. Like, that would be baller by ear if they kept calling it Tiger Woods PGA Golf, like 2015. That would have been so good. But yeah, good on him. Just good on him because it's sort of. It's showcases like people look at sportsmen as like their idols and people they look up to and stuff. And someone especially someone like me or around my age looks at him and goes like, you know what, this guy went through a terrible period of his life. He went through a really bad funk, but yet he was able to come out of that situation and be able to alleviate himself to a degree where he's finding great success again. And coming second in the golf tour makes you bank. Makes you like could buy a house in cash bank. Could buy you multiple cars bank. Could buy a one-day private jet bank. Like, this guy's making that type of money. So yeah, it's just good to see Tiger Woods. Just really good to see Tiger Woods. But I don't know how to come up with say the next thing. I think. Is Zion Williams the best? I'm just gonna say, is Zion Williams the best athlete that we've ever seen in college basketball? Is that a true fact? We never saw. I wasn't old enough to see Michael Jordan or David Thompson or whatever in college. Kobe Bryant never went to college. LeBron James never went to college. Shaq, he was very dominating. Larry Johnson was very dominating, but no one's seen the video of. If no one's seen the video of Zion Williams, 6'7", 285 pounds, jumping from the free throw line, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Go to YouTube right now. Pause this podcast, or actually, don't pause the podcast at all. Actually, I think you probably have to. But pause the podcast. Go to YouTube. Search up Zion Williams free throw line jumper, and you're like, what a freak! This guy is a complete animal, and. Obviously, there was so much skepticism of him coming into college. Like, can he adjust to the game? Will he be able to play properly? And where they can play him? Is he a 3? Is he a 4? Could he defend 3s or 4s? Is he a 5? Like, what is his game? What is his game? Is he positionless? Who knows what this guy can do? And just from that one video alone, I'm like, this guy's special. This guy is special. And it's funny as well. I feel bad for RJ Barrett because literally the sequence before was him attempted to dunk for the free throw line, and he did really well. Like, he got pretty. It was actually good. It was actually a good free throw line dunk. Like, if you did that in the NBA dunk contest, probably not a 50, but maybe somewhere mid 40s. It would be a strong mid 40 dunk. But yeah, Zion Williams just stepped up right after, and he the thing is that if you see a lot of these free throw line dunks, like obviously MJ, Dr. J, who else? Zach Levine, Serge Ibaka stuff. They just run continuously, just one direct line or direct route they run, and then they launch. Zion Williamson literally ran about halfway, did like a little stutter step thing, did another power, thrust or movement, and then literally just jumped for the free throw line. He just didn't run straight. He literally stopped and then reignited again, which is ridiculous. Like, this guy is ridiculous. And there's that other video of him doing his, trying to get his 40-inch vert. And there's like one picture of him where he jumps, and it's like, I don't know, like his head's like clearing the rim. Like, it's like if he went for a dunk, he could borderline kill himself, because he would just directly hit his Adam's apple on the rim. You know when people say get your head to the rim or get your chin to the rim? Man, my man's getting his Adam's apple to the rim. It's disgusting the way this guy jumps. It's disgusting, his athletic ability. This guy's a legit freak. It's so hard to explain, man. This guy is an animal, and not only that, skillful as well. Like, super skillful, can pass. He hit a couple of threes when they did their tour of Canada against like Ryerson and who was the other one? McGill, I think. Is it McGill? No, Toronto or something. They versed two Canadian schools, but yeah, dude, he really showcased like he could hit a three. That's probably not where you want him to be shooting threes and stuff, because it is a bit of an iffy set shot. But yeah, dude, Zion Williamson, he had skills. He had a great passing game, rebounding. Man, this guy fights for rebounds. This guy gets boards at will. Like, this is disgusting. I'm telling you, like, it's dirty, man. This guy is just unfair. And obviously the versus Canadian opposition, which it's probably not the best opposition, or but still, this guy's dropping easy 34-15s. A quiet 20 and 10. Like, who has a quiet 20 and 10? Probably not him, because everything that he does is loud. Dunks, rebounds, literally everything he does is so forceful. This guy runs through the court, alley-oops, everything. He's disgusting. I cannot repeat that. I will repeat again. It's disgusting in the way that he plays basketball. It is insane. It is insane. And he'll be special. And obviously, there's going to be so much conjecture with him, like, oh, where are you going to play him? Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, when you're gonna play him, is he good enough? People say like Coach K is gonna play about the 5 sometimes, which he could be a Draymond Green type. I mean, imagine Draymond Green, more juice. That's basically what he could be. He could be Draymond Green, more juice, and it's like, mate, what? He's borderline spacious. He's borderline spacious, and it's so. I don't know if it was suck, because I think Duke's is gonna go far. I think with the talent they have in RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, Trey Jones, obviously Zion, what's his name? Who else did that? Marquez Bolden. They got a lot of great talent, and then like I said, combine that with the coaching knowledge of Coach K. It's a deadly combination. Like, they could really much replicate what Jahlil Okafor and Trey Jones. What's his brother's name? What is his brother's name? Tyson Jones? Tyus Jones. Jeez, sorry, Tyus Jones. Yeah, he could replicate basically what Jahlil Okafor and Tyus Jones did, and Justice Winslow at in 2015, I think. So yeah, Duke's definitely at a good spot. And they'll play with that Trey Jones or Cam Reddish. And they'll, obviously they're blowing out, I guess, less opposition or whatever, but just animals that's gonna wreak havoc. And hopefully they don't like conflict or anything, because it would be great to see Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, Trey Jones, and Zion Williamson all coexist. It would be great. So hopefully they have great longevity and stuff like that. Like, they're gonna be special. They will be special. Another one that's sort of special is Ben Simmons, man. Ben Simmons, shout out to him. He came to Australia. He did all his Australian press and stuff. Went to Culture Kings. # swipe up for the new St. Mortar. But yeah, he went to supported everyone in Australia. He had the Australian camp. So shout out to Ben Simmons. The thing I wanted to talk about is him and Embiid sort of both separately said that they want to fight for MVP, and obviously, you know, a lot of people just gonna think that's an innocuous statement. It doesn't mean anything, or whatever. Everyone says it, but to me, it's sort of ringing alarm bells a little bit, because could this be like early Kobe and Shaq? And obviously Kobe and Shaq won three titles, so mate, if you're Philadelphia, you'd be frothing if it's early Kobe and Shaq. But the way I sort of look at it is like, I mean, if they both think that they're the franchise player, then is there gonna be this situation where they both think they're the best, and there's gonna be this muddying of roles? Because, you know, obviously you want, you know, if it's not Team USA or whatever, you know, you could always have the best player that you think all the best players are going to play the best. But if, as we see with teams like San Antonio and stuff like that, it's all about roles. It's all about people knowing what they need to do. And if they do what they need to do best, or at the full potential they can, then it'll all work out in the system. And I don't know if, like, you know, Simmons and Embiid work at their best. Oh, Simmons and Embiid at their best is with each other, if you know what I mean. Like, obviously they're going to play amazingly well, they're going to dominate and stuff like that, but Simmons at his peak and Embiid at his peak, I don't think I see a relationship with them existing, because it's just they both need the ball, they both think they're the best, and, you know, evidently they said they both want MVP, and it's going to be hard. And obviously we've seen people like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant coexist, but I think it's different because they're shooters. And, you know, when you're a shooter or a more offensive player and stuff like that, someone that can play off the ball for long stretches at a time, I think it works out a bit better. Both these players need the ball. Embiid likes to be in the pinch post, likes to be just in the regular baseline post, and, you know, face up, stuff like that. He likes to have the ball for like a solid 10 seconds. And Simmons, the same. He likes to operate with the ball, fast breaks and stuff like that. You know, he likes to hold the ball for about 10 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. Simmons he's having a tear. He's going, again, you know, I mentioned this before, again, this guy's had injury problems. Why are you going so hard in these open gym games? And obviously he's going to those Rico Hine games at UCLA, which has some pretty dazed opposition and stuff like that. Like, what was it, like a couple of days ago? It was like Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook and stuff like that. LeBron James was there sitting down, which I don't know why he was there. Maybe just sitting with his boys. And mate, I gotta mention the hardest opposition of them all, Cedi Osman. Cedi Osman, I'm telling you, beast. He is a beast in these rec games. He's a beast. So mate, if it's just anything, Cedi Osman could be the next Kevin Durant. That's all I can say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Cleveland, I know you're mad that LeBron James left, but you got Cedi Osman, so it's all good. But yeah, dude, Simmons is going hard in these games, like fast break continuously, super athletic, dunking basically anything that he can get his hands on. He's playing really well, but it's funny because you watch the YouTube clips and stuff, and you can see that they're putting a conscious effort to show him jump shooting, and I don't know, man. Looks funky. It still looks funky. Like, has it gone to a point where it's like they need an overhaul of the whole Philadelphia 76ers shooting team? Like it looks it's sort of fine, but it's not. It looks awkward. It just looks awkward. If people like watch the video and stuff, there's one way he sort of does a fadeaway, and obviously a fadeaway, like a standstill fadeaway in any situation is going to look awkward. But just for him, like when he was shooting the fadeaway, it really did look a bit odd. Like I just didn't really like the way his form was. I didn't like his body positioning, the way his shoulders are square and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how he goes, especially with jump shooting, because there's all that conjecture about him needing to do it, needing to have a jump shot, needing to shoot the ball a bit more. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes and stuff this season, because basically, if he doesn't, I don't know, in my opinion, if he doesn't start jump shooting at least this year, because it's a glaring hole in his game, if he doesn't stop jump shooting, then it's like, will he ever jump shoot? And, you know, obviously I'm that type of guy. It's like, after 2 years of basketball, like, oh, this is who he's going to be forever. Like, obviously he's not, but, you know, people get ingrained into habits. People get ingrained into how they regularly play and stuff like that. So, I don't know, it'll be something that I keep note of. It'll definitely be something I keep note of. But the next topic I want to talk to is it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to talk about. It's not fun to talk about, but it sort of has to be talked about because as a proud Australian, it just has to be talked about. Just walks in, mate. You sweet, bro? You sweet?
Another podcast
You sweet? You sweet, man?
Recording alone again?
Well, when you put it into in that context, it sounds weird, but I like recording on my own. You know what I mean? Because it's just like I don't need to hear any stupid talk from anyone
Do
else.
the viewers like it though? Do the viewers like it?
I did say at the start of the podcast. Good reception from you and Lang's podcast. I will say that. Can I get a promise if you'll be back on the podcast? The fans want to know. The fans want to know.
No promises as of yet.
Jeez, are you really that busy, man? Are you really that busy?
Yeah.
With your dumb Steelers jacket that you just... God, man. Disgusting. Disgusting. But yeah, you guys talking about like yellow stuff. I did want to mention the whole All Blacks Wallaby situation. It's probably like just no knowledge to my American fans, but if no one knows, I'll give you a bit of a rundown. The New Zealand All Blacks and the Australian Wallabies are just two national rugby union teams. And just to make it short, the All Blacks have won basically 7 straight trophies. 17 straight Bledisloe trophies. I don't think Australia's won in New Zealand since 2001, so that would be 17 years as well. So it's a ridiculous streak that fails to continue. 17 years. That's literally a whole another generation. Like that's a new person being born, and then playing rugby union for the Wallabies or something, and they're still losing. Like it's ridiculous how the All Blacks continue to churn out the type of talent they do. Well, I guess it's not that hard to believe because it is a national sport, and that's basically what they all do there is play rugby union. But for the Wallabies not to be able to adjust is pretty poor. It is really poor. Like last year they lost, I think, the first game 50 something to 10, like literally a 40-point difference, and then the second game they bounced back decently, which is okay, but they still lost to Bledisloe because it's the best out of 3 series. And it was looking promising for the first game. Like the first game, the Wallabies were winning. I think it was like 5-3 or 7-3 or something like that. Like they were winning. And obviously, if you're someone that likes to judge quickly, you sort of looked and like, this is our year. This is our year. Oh, gee. this is our year. And it's everyone. It was the same with New South Wales versus Queensland. Everyone's like, oh, this is our year. This is definitely our year. And I thought it was our year. You know, if we're winning 7-3 against the All Blacks, it's all good. And then basically in the second half, they dropped 40 points. And the score ends up being like 40-14 again. Literally, actually 50 points maybe, I don't know. It was a complete replica of the first game last year. And then maybe like, okay, maybe we could go to New Zealand, bounce back, even though we've never bounced back in 17 years. We go to New Zealand. And again, the same similar situation exists. We're leading basically with 1 minute to 2 minutes left in the first half. And then New Zealand scores, basically ties up the game at 7-7. And then what happens? The Wallabies lose like 40-14. Again, they lose by like 26 to 30 points. It's disgusting. And watching it, especially because I was watching it with my boss and stuff, with some workmates, and when you just watch it, you just feel bad about it. You just feel bad to be an Australian. Like, I know it's pretty audacious to say that about a rugby union team, but especially when you're at other Kiwis, you just have to feel pain. And I don't know what they're going to do about it. I don't know what... I know what they're going to do about it. I think they're recruiting, like... They just recruit, like, Kiwis now. They basically just get Kiwis to get scholarships here, make them get residency, and then you just have a bunch of Kiwis playing for the Australians. It is quite funny. Because I remember my dad, he was doing this function thing for basically the Australian schoolboys. And I went down to where they were training and stuff, and I got to this is the conversation I physically overheard. And you just hear like a bunch of, I'm guessing New Zealanders, I'm not sure, probably just, Polynesian, descent people, and they were just talking like, just casually talking like, all right, yeah, so how long you been in Australia? And then you just hear someone go like, oh, I've only been here for like a year. I just got a scholarship, you know, just to play rugby union. And these people play for the Australian schoolboys team, and it's like, you know, just it's classic recruiting. It's classic recruiting, and yet we still recruit some of the best players they have in New Zealand, and continuously we still lose. We still lose against the All Blacks, and I don't think it's going to change. I do not think it's going to change. They call it All Blacks culture, and yeah, the All Blacks just have this ingrained mentality of just destroying the Australians. And like they have just everything. They have great rugby. They have. If no one's listened to the New Zealand national anthem, the best anthem I've ever heard. It's the best anthem globally. It's an audacious statement I just said, but it is the best anthem globally. It's so beautiful, so melodic. Literally, there's two parts. They have a Maori part. They have an English part. Like it's everything. It's so good. It is so good. I guess it's probably not good if you don't believe in God, because they do mention God a lot. So I guess, I don't know, if you're someone that doesn't like God, it's probably not the way to go. But the New Zealand anthem is so amazing. It's so beautiful. But what you doing there, mate? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's just weird because you're staring at me, you know? Like, it's a bit odd, but...
I'll hop on.
You want to hop on now? No, it's too late. Maybe we'll call on after if you want.
It just seems sad.
It does it. The thing is, like, I like doing this. I like it. And it gets the best reception, I think. It honestly does get the best reception. Don't show pity on me. Don't show pity on me. Just because I think you might have a bit of a big head. Are you the new Ben? Are you the new Ben?
No.
With the big head where literally it charts number one. This guy thinks he's the big man of the town. He's going into the local. And he goes, you know what's up? Give me what I want. This guy, he's a changed man. It's a changed man. This is what the podcast does. It changes people. So, but yeah, I guess I do want to close on. I'll keep it all sport because I did have a topic, but maybe Sheldon gets on another podcast. We can talk about it, but. Yeah, I guess I'll close the podcast here with just a great celebration of the Argentinian, Manu Ginobili. He's going to retire after about, 14, 15 years. Actually, I think it might be more. I think it might be 16, 17 years, something like that. But it's good to see just Manu retire. It's the end. It's an end of a dynasty. It's the end of just a long illustrious legacy that the San Antonio Spurs built. Duncan retired about 5 years ago, something like that. So that that's already, I guess, bypassed. But yeah, Manu Ginobili was the one guy that was holding on from that triad, because obviously Tony Parker signed somewhere else just to get more game time and stuff like that. And Manu Ginobili, you can look at his stats and stuff like that and say maybe he seems like a pretty average player, but what he did on the court, what he did for the game, and how he internationalized the game. More importantly, sort of something that you can't really ignore. He was part of the Argentinian team that beat the Americans in the Olympics in 2004 Athens. That's the last time the Americans never won gold in basketball was Manu Ginobili's team. So that's the type of player we're talking about here. This guy. Was just a great talent. He created the Euro steps for people like James Harden, Russell Westbrook, people like that who use the Euro step frequently in the game. Better be on their knees for this guy, because this guy, this skinny, lanky Argentinian man with a disgusting bald spot, literally defined the careers of James Harden and Russell Westbrook. It cannot be denied. He created their careers. And like I said, he internationalized the game. He really brought it. To an audience which, the European audience is dominated by soccer and, other sports like that. Even European handball was probably bigger than basketball at that point. And he really brought the game to a great new light. And we're seeing, people, Europeans like Luka Doncic. A lot of Europeans choosing to opt to play basketball instead of, soccer and handball, like I said, because of some people like Manu Ginobili. So, it's just good to see Manu. I guess it's not good because he's walking away sort of, at a latter stage of his career where he it's through, filled through drama and conjecture in regards to the whole Kawhi Leonard situation, which, sucks to end your career off a note like that. But, what is he, three-time champion, multiple All-Stars, six-man of the year. He actually really cultivated the six-man position as to what it is now. Like, six-man position used to be the sort of insulting position. Like, it's, no one wants to start off the bench. No one wants to play, as the guy coming off sort of second fiddle with the second unit. A lot of people want to start and have that sort of glory starting, but he was the one that brought value to the six-man position, and more importantly, valuing that even if you don't start the game, it's important that you finish the game. So, like, if you're still on the court at the end of the game, that means you're one of the top 5 players in the team, and he really cultivated that type of mentality and stuff like that. So, bit of rambling about Manu Ginobili, but just the man's a god. The man's a god, and he's still dunking at like what? It's like 41 or something. The man's 41. It's insane to see how he goes. Maybe he should get into golf because he probably still shreds at golf. But good on Manu Ginobili. I'll end the podcast here. Like I said at the start of the podcast, I did want to do these solo episodes a bit shorter because I do feel like I'm rambling a bit too much and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Comment, email me, stuff like that. Rate. Sort of just see the vibe of how you guys like these shorter, maybe 40 or 35 to 45 minute episodes, especially solo. Just tell me how you feel. Sucks that I couldn't get a promise from my roommate, but who knows? He, like I said, he's sort of got a new profound love for this fame. It's sad to see. It's sad to see people change on you like that. Like, yeah, it's just what it is. Like I said, this podcast makes people. But good. Sorry that I'm sick as well on this podcast. It sucks, but don't want to leave you guys hanging. And all that stuff. God. Jeez, you play Rocket League every day, man. You gotta stop playing Rocket League. Is it really that addictive? No. Jeez, you play it every day. Jeez, how long's the game been out? Like what, 4 years or something? And you, there's 3 years, still not good. I'm so good. Well, you just said you need to get good, so isn't that just it's just a contradiction of what you just said? Can you deny? Jeez. But nah. Fair enough. God. Actually, one more thing I wanted to say before closing. I'll try to close at about 45 minutes. Is the whole Logan Paul KSI thing, the whole fight. Just my personal opinion. Probably don't care about it because it is just some YouTube fighting event. But probably made stacks of money, and I believe KSI won. But a draw does seem to suffice. It's one of those weird situations. Like, obviously it happens in UFC and boxing a lot, where it's like you could give it to one fighter, but a draw is like, I'm not mad. That's basically what it was. I'm not mad that it was a draw, but I personally thought it was a win to KSI. But they made fat stacks from this fight. They'll probably make probably bigger stacks when they have another fight. I think they're trying to do a fight in like New York or something, which would be ridiculous. But yeah, no, we just see what happens with that. Some undercard fights were pretty iffy. The brothers fought. It was okay. A bunch of other YouTubers fought. It was okay. It was just an okay event besides the main event, which was actually pretty spectacular in my opinion. So, who knows? This could be a new wave. Probably not YouTubers fighting boxing, but like YouTube itself as a company getting into like live sporting events. I think that would be really interesting to see. I don't know, like licensing deals and stuff like that, how that all turns out. But I know, me and David talked about this before, and Netflix should really try and pursue getting live, like trying to have some live games or live affiliations with sporting companies like the UFC and stuff like that. And obviously the UFC has aligned itself with the UFC. like you can buy the pay per view on YouTube and stuff like that and watch it through YouTube. But yeah, like other sporting events like boxing and stuff, or even like if it comes to, you know, maybe like the Super Bowl or NBA Finals, or even just regular games. Like I know each sporting company has their own, you know, little streaming service like League Pass. The NRL has their own one as well, but I don't know, maybe they could maximize further potential, more audience growth, and just growing the game if they, you know, use already made services like YouTube and Netflix and stuff. But yeah, just I'll end the podcast here. Like I said, rate, review, email, and all that stuff. If you guys, you know, wanna give your opinion, because it'll be great to hear how you guys just like the podcast and stuff. Any questions, topics you want to talk about, tweet 23 shots of JD, email 23shotsofjd@gmail.com. But yeah, leave you to it.